Yeah, it wasn't ideal weather. Thought the grounds crew did a great job giving us an opportunity to play. Just when you look at the game, I thought, Zach Root didn't have his best stuff, but he competed really hard. Missouri, you got to give them credit. They fouled off a lot of pitches, took some borderline pitches, and they got his pitch count up a little bit. But on the other end, offensively for us, I felt like we did a really good job of getting their starters' pitch count up. I think he threw 35 plus 38 pitches first inning. A lot of times you don't recover from that, but he did, and he came back and gave him a few more innings and almost got him through the fourth, and then we strung together some things there. Ended up scoring some runs and got him out of the game, but just a good job up and down our lineup of battling and getting pitch counts up. And, Cam Kojal had a great game, 4 hits and 5 RBIs, and used the whole field. It was really good to see, and good to see Iredale have a nice day. Because we're hitting, but it's not like it's 1 through 9. Some guys are struggling just a little bit right now. We need to get some guys rolling, but we got enough that we can put together some good innings if you'll take a walk, which we did like 13 or 14 times. Got hit by a pitch, I don't know, another couple, 3 or 4 times. And that's how you score 21 runs on 14 hits. But it's a good win for us, and, but got 2 more to go.
In that first big inning that you guys had, it was a 2-run game, and it was a 3-2 pitch to Iredale, and he hit it out. And it just felt like things, went well for you from there. How much do you think that hit kind of sparked your lineup?
I think what it did is just maybe gave some guys a little confidence, and it really gave us some momentum. It was a big swing, and we scored 2, but then we left a lot of runs out there early. I mean, we were 1 hit away from breaking it open and having a 5 or 6 run lead, and then they tied it, and we get 2 back, and then to put 5 up in the 4th. We felt like we were in control there, and then we did it again in the 5th, and then they just used some guys that they don't use a whole lot there at the end. So it was a big swing on the pitch before that. He fouled it off, and then he got one he could handle, and he hammered it.
How tough were these playing conditions today?
Well, the grass was really wet. The ball would roll through it. The infielders were having to deal with throwing a wet ball across the diamond. Same with the outfielders if it got there on the ground. It was misting the whole time. It was almost like we were in a cloud, and but it was the same for both teams. And we did a good job of handling the ball, and it definitely helped us.
I mean, you would have seen the field yesterday. Just you mentioned the grounds crew and the work they did. How far would you say that the field came from yesterday to today?
Well, it had water standing on it from time to time. I mean, the field has an amazing drainage system. It goes through the field, into the sand and rocks and pipes, and then it heads out there to Lake Norm, I think. So, it's a real good system. But the grounds crew, they kept having to dump the tarp, and the grass. If you keep tarp on too long, it'll turn yellow, and you get to see a little bit of a difference because they've had it on a lot, obviously, especially this time of year. But they did an amazing job of getting it ready to play where it was safe.
Maybe touched on Root there a little bit in your open, but he stranded the go-ahead run on third, I think, in the 3rd inning, and then he had 2nd and 3rd, no outs in the 5th, and only gave up 1 run. Just how do you think he navigated those tough situations?
Yeah, I mean, good pitchers find a way to get out of those, and that's how you keep your ERA down. It's how you get to start. You got more than 1 or 2 pitches in there you can get people out with. But Missouri did a good job against him. They fought him, but he also came through big with a couple of big outs there and situations where they could have got the lead or got back in the game or whatever the situation was. And we were really glad to see him get through that 5th inning, and because his pitch count was up there. Maybe 1 more hitter if he didn't get that last one. I think struck out a right-hander, had a lefty on deck, and and it was good. We came in and scored 5 runs.
I know the game was already in hand, but I think it was McIntyre's first outing since the Missouri State game. Just how good was it to see him go out there and give you a perfect inning?
Well, I commented on it after the game. I thought he did a great job. He pitched like we had a 2-run lead instead of a big-time lead. And, he hit his spots. He even threw a changeup. He threw a big curveball to end the game, and not just throwing the cutter. He got up to 90 miles an hour, and I thought Carter did a great job in his inning as well. And those guys are still available tomorrow if needed.
Yeah, I mean, you guys walk 14 times. You get hit 4 times. How much would you chalk that up to having good at bats, being tough outs, versus just hard playing conditions?
Yeah, I think a lot of those walks they fought for them. There were a couple of 4-pitch walks, but for the most part, we had a 1-2 walk, a couple of walks where they fouled off a lot of pitches, and they'd throw a ball, foul pitch, throw another ball. Where pitchers they were using up a lot of pitches, so it's good. That's what you want.
And then another weekend for Cam, knocking the cover off the ball. Vanderbilt now here. What have you liked from him?
Well, I like the fact that he, used the whole field. Got a really good backside double there, and I think a couple hits to right, one dead right, one in the right center field, and just a tough out. His last at bat, he took the count to full and, fouled one off, and then he ended up striking out. But he had a great day, and it's been a really tough out lately.
And I forget which inning it was, but I think there was that play with Maxwell and Cahillo almost getting tied up, and the ball got thrown into right field. I guess what did you think of that? What were your thoughts?
What I thought about it is that my runner needs to go to third base. I mean, it wasn't really a whole lot. I don't know. He's one of our smartest players and good base runner, and I don't know what happened. I haven't talked to him about it yet.
You mentioned Dylan. He's been kind of a guy that you've gone to right after the starting pitcher a lot this year. Is there anything about that role that maybe suits him? Makes it a good role for him?
Well, he's he comes in, and first off, he has experience, and you like that. He's not scared out there, and he throws a lot of strikes, and he's actually he's getting better now. I mean, he was pretty good early, but lately it's really good stuff. It's stuff that you can bring him in when the game's tied, down a run, up a run. It's not like 5 or 6 run lead, and then we'll bring him in. No, he throws strikes. He's got a good hard slider, and but I just like his experience, and it's quick to the plate. He makes you earn it a little bit. All right.